What is up, guys? Brennan aka Drip back with another deck profile. And in today's deck profile, we are doing Danger Dark Worlds. Yes, a deck that I should have revisited a long time ago. It's been a while since I've visited this deck. I've actually mistreated this poor thing. This was another one of those decks that are one of my favorite decks. It's really fun. It gets to the point. It does what it does, and everybody always underestimates what it can actually do in the full power of this deck. One thing I want to say before I get into this deck is a couple things, actually. One, if you're used to being around here, you know that a lot of my stuff isn't budget, but if you want to know budget options, just let me know in the comment below, or I'll let you know as we go if it pops into my head. Because I like to try to take whatever deck I possibly can and try to make it as competitive as possible with my own spin and my own twist on it. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and get into this video. Make sure we please drop a like, comment, subscribe if all is possible. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss an upload. I try to upload a few times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, if not more. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this deck profile. Yeah, I think if you see my last deck profile, I think it was like July or August when I last visited this deck. Sadly, it's been a hot minute, so I wanted to show this deck some love. On top of that, I've been doing a lot of meta here lately, so I wanted to go back and do a little bit of possible rogue or below rogue, just fun decks. But to start out, we got 3 Grapha. Grapha, I don't know why. I still see people try to run 2 of this card. I run 3 of this card, and I never see it as much as I want to. This card is disgusting. It's one of your main board breakers. It's 3K B stick. You can just keep using this fact. It's just disgusting. Another thing I want to say too, real quick, is this is going to be kind of similar to my last build. I know a lot of people, it was controversial on my last build. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like it because I didn't play a lot of the utility cards. With Dark Worlds, I like to get to the point. I like to break boards and OTK. If I can't OTK, I still like to break boards and put big beaters on board. Moving on to the next one, Brow. Brow is a staple of 3 in my personal opinion. He gives you an extra draw. He's really good. It's Brow, come on. And then we got Bay of the deck. We got Snow. She's our searcher. She gets us whatever we want. She's hot with her freaking Medusa hair, bro. But moving on to the 2 ofs, we got 2 Silva and 2 Beige. My reasoning on these 2 is, 1, they both just put themselves on board. Outside of that, they don't really do much, even though for the most part, that's the only reason why we're playing the ones that we do play in this build, because we just want to put bodies on board. That's it. That's all we want to do, is we want bodies on board, and so we can fuel Grapha and whatever else. So that's pretty much all we want to do, is just put bodies on board. And the last 2 of is Lucient. This card is, I don't understand why it's as expensive as it is, honestly, compared to all the other Dark World cards. But he's another good 2 of, because he's big and he special summons. So that's why we run him. That's it for the 2 ofs. Now to the 1 ofs. And the only one that's literally a 1 of is Gold. I run 1 Gold. I see it's necessary because it's a body too. Like I said before, we just want to put bodies on board, fuel Grapha, and break boards with Grapha and our dangers and everything else we play to help break boards. But that's literally it for the Dark World lineup. I know a lot of people are going to like it. I know a lot of people are not going to like it, but that's what I like to run. It's what works for me. Moving on to the Danger lineups, where it gets a little weird. I got 3 Mothman, 2 Bigfoot, 1 Jack, 1 Nessie, 1 Ramen Noodle, 1 Thunderbird, and 1 Chupacabra. Now, one thing I want to say real quick about this is I run 3 Mothman because this is pretty much an indirect Dark World because it literally it's a Dark World dealings pretty much on discard. You draw one, discard one. That's literally why this deck all it wants to do is draw, put monsters on board, break boards. So I maximized on Mothman for that very reason. Bigfoot is Bigfoot. It can bait out negates. It can break boards. So yeah, Jackalope gets me one of my dangers. Nessie searches. Noodle puts a body on board, just like I said before. That's all we want to do is put bodies on board and break boards. The only two that I would even consider running more of is Thunderbird and Chupacabra. The reason being is because, one, there's a lot of back row going on right now, and Thunderbird can help you with that. And then Chupacabra, the only other reason I would want to run him is higher is because he's a fiend, and it helps fuel your field spell because he's a fiend, and all your Dark Worlds are fiends. So that's the only reason. But I actually don't own other copies of these. That's why I run them at 1. But if you want to run a higher danger count, by all means, go ahead. I'm not running Ogopogo or anything like that. I think that card is fucking unnecessary and you don't need it. It just plays around what this deck really tries to do. But that's it for the danger lineup. And the last 2 monsters of the deck, I want to say real quick, a lot of people are not going to like this, but my personal opinion, you got to fight fire with fire, and it's literally too freaking free in this deck to not play it. And the last 2 monsters in the deck is literally Dragoon package, because we do run Dragoons in this because he helps break boards, he's a negate, and no one's going to expect you to really go into Dragoon when you're playing Dark Worlds. So yeah, I know a lot of the casual players who's watching this deck profile is not going to like that, but I'm sorry. If we have access to it, we can make it, then you should play it. I know it's a busted card and it does need to be banned. If you don't think it needs to be banned, then you're just in denial. But no, it needs to be banned. But if we have access to it, everybody else is going to be running it. Why can't we? We got to fight fire with fire, and that's literally all I got to say. But it's really disgusting, this deck with Dragoon, because like I said, it's just too free. That's it for the monsters. Let's go on with the spells. The first off of spells is literally the only card I have in the deck that's not max rarity, and I'm going to cry. Dealings is really good. It's busted. It's a draw 1, disc 1. So sadly, your opponent gets to do it. A lot of people don't like it because your opponent gets to plus off of it. But at the end of the day, also like it's fine because a lot of decks nowadays aren't playing mid range. They just blow and dump their load on the board and say break it. So they're not really going to draw into anything that could really stop you anyways for that part. But we got dealings. Then I know a lot of people, it's a hit and miss when it comes to this card, if people like it or not. I like it. And it's Allure. Allure is just pot of greed because your entire deck's dark. So I like it. I wouldn't change it. Works out for me. Another one that's kind of controversial on how many, but I run 2 gates. The second gates does come up. And on top of that, if you draw into the second one, you can just activate it over top of the first one and just use it again. But the second one does come up, I promise. It really does, because when they see this, like any other field spell, a lot of people will just want to get rid of it because it gives you way too many pluses, honestly. So, 2 gates. And then the card that I will always run in Danger Dark World because it's too stupid not to run it, because 1, this deck doesn't have really a normal summon. So the fact that if you draw one of your lower dangers, that's another reason why I run a lot of the lower levels. Because if you draw one of those, you can just normal summon those and this card's free. Because this deck wants to go second, obviously, anyways. And that is Danger Response Team. I've seen a few people not run this card. This card is literally too free. It's literally a card. It's pretty much, it's Danger Dark World Response Team, dude. They just forgot to print the Dark World part in the middle of the name. They just didn't have no room. This card is literally for your deck. And if you don't know what it does, you target a danger monster and target opponent's monster and return both of them to the hand. So it outs cards, it breaks boards, and it refuels your hand, which is exactly what you want to do anyways. Because one thing I will say, Dark World struggle when it comes to the RNG. So it can go really well or it can go really bad. So you need to try to refill your hand as much as possible. And then if the games that you lose is the games that you lose the RNG. So you want to try to maximize your chances of refilling your hand with this deck, because you refill your hand, you get pluses more. So that's just typical Yu-Gi-Oh when it comes to any deck, really. But 2 response team, because it's a god card, pretty much. It's amazing. And this next card is going to make a lot of people mad, but I'm sorry, it's so good in this deck. It's not budget. It's not even mine, honestly. I'm borrowing it from Jeremy with teammate. And that's literally Forbidden Droplets. This card, you discard a danger with this card, and you just plus so freaking much. Sadly, your Dark Worlds don't get their effects off because this discards for cost, but your dangers will. This card has helped me tremendously so many times, whether it's the negate effect or the fact they can't respond effect or the fact that it has to attack. I can go on and on about this card. This card puts in so much work for me every time I've used it that it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, Forbidden Droplets. And then on to the one-ofs. First one-of is card destruction. This card's way too free. The chain links get ridiculous when you activate this card, because if you have a handful of dangers and a handful of dark worlds, and you could just go off and just have like chain link 5s. It's really crazy sometimes. And then I main deck 1 Raigeki with this build because it's literally free. No one's going to be expecting it in 2021 for you to drop a Raigeki on someone's head. So I decided to main this instead of Lightning Storm, because Lightning Storm is pretty much dead after turn 1, which, don't get me wrong, Lightning Storm's an amazing card. It's just my personal opinion, I have bad luck with it, because I know in my last build, I believe, I went back and watched it, I main deck Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm really is good. If you have 3, if you have access to 3, I would still probably run it. But I would probably run it in the side because it's only really good for back row removal at this point. So this right here will take care of the front row. You can make the argument that you could run Dark Hole. The only reason I'm not main decking Dark Hole instead of Raigeki is for 2 reasons. One, which is the first reason, doesn't really matter to you because you can activate it before you do anything, and it's just because it destroys your monsters. The second reason is because oh crap, my mind went blank. But yeah, mainly because you just don't want to destroy your own stuff. But moving on to the last one of is literally the last card in the deck, and that's Red Eyes Fusion. Red Eyes Fusion is just obviously because of Dragoon. The main deck is 43. Not much I would change. You can change what you like. If you don't have access to Forbidden Droplet, that's perfectly fine. You could literally just run No Ruler or Forbidden Chalice. Forbidden Chalice because it's a quick play. And if you don't want to run Dragoon, then just run more dangers. That's literally all you gotta do. I just feel that those 2 packages are just too good not to play right now. So, and I have access to Droplet because of my friend. That's literally the only reason I run it. But if you're just going to play online and you don't have to actually buy the cards, then by all means try this build out and see what you think. It's really fun. But onto the extra deck. Extra deck is where it gets really spicy. I'm telling you, it gets really, really spicy. One thing, and I want to say in advance too, I do apologize. I'm the world's worst YouTuber. I'm going to have a couple of proxies in this. Not because I don't own the cards. I do own the cards. It's just the fact that I can't find the cards because some of these cards I haven't messed with in a long time, so I couldn't find them in my binders. But let's go ahead and get on with the extra deck. Now, the extra deck, which is the most spicy cards I think are in here, and it's a complete blowout when people make you go first or you choose to go first, and that's literally Dark Law. 2 Dark Law and 1 Anki. I know you need a glass of milk and some Tums for how spicy this is. Dark Law is a complete blowout against this format, and pretty much almost any format that this card is in it just overperforms. They add a card to the hand, you randomly discard 1. They don't have no graveyard. What's a graveyard? They don't have one. Anki to push for time, just in case if you have a game that pushes in time, you can just enter battle phase and attack directly. They can't do nothing about it. If it just does damage, it's halved. How we get in this, we play Mass Change 2 in the side deck. That's how we get into this. We play Mass Change 2. This is one of the proxies, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's my Mass Hero package. It's really good because Mass Change 2 just says target anything that's level, and then just make sure you go into something that's higher. So, on to the next, obviously, Dragoon, Masquerena, onto the Lynx, Link 2. Cross Sheep, because if we go into this and then we use Mass Change 2 on one of our monsters, we summon our fusion to the zone is points 2, we can revive back one of our Dark Worlds, and if we have Grapha engraved, then we can just bounce the Dark World back to our hand and special summon Grapha. So that's the only reason we run Cross Sheep. I've only went to like one or two times in the online, but it's there if the play comes up. Anaconda, utility breaking boards, Phoenix, Cerberus, Unicorn, Appaloosa, Dingirsu. Dingirsu, it protects your stuff. And you can send a card away with it. Appaloosa's Appaloosa. And then the last 3 cards in the extra deck, which are proxies, because I couldn't find them, is number 100, number 97, and number 92. This is your OTK package. I'll probably have pictures up on the screen here so you can still see them if you don't know what they look like. This is the OTK package pretty much, where they're going first and turn off everything, banish and everything with number 92. You can put up several level 8, so you can easily get into this package. This is the package that I ran before, I believe, and I think in my previous build, I could be wrong. It's just more utility cards. Danger Dark World don't even really need their extra deck. Their whole entire 15-card extra deck is actually just actual utility cards that you don't really rely on. But yeah, that's it for the extra deck. Only thing I'm going to show you on the side is literally the cards that I already told you about. That is Mass Change. If you have any questions about what I think you should side, then just message me in the Discord. Description's in the below, along with PayPal and everything else. I'm Renegon yugioh in there. That's my name. Just let me know, and I can tell you my opinions and thoughts on side decks. But if you don't have access to Discord, then just comment, and if I see it, I'll try to message you back. But Mass Change is literally the only card that I have in the side deck right now. I have a side deck build online. I just don't have it put together. But with that being said, guys, that is it for the video. I do apologize again about the proxies and stuff not being the same sleeves. I just been playing this one online. I wanted to get it out for you guys because I know I've been doing a lot of meta here lately. So I want to do a rogue deck for you, or a below rogue deck for you, just a fun casual deck, and try to make it as competitive as possible. It does really good. If you got the right hand, it can contend with all the big tier guys. Definitely with the side deck and everything. But with that being said, guys, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. We are growing as a family and it is a channel pretty fast, and I'm loving it. I'm enjoying it. If you feel like you want to join the Discord to become closer to the channel, closer to the family, we're all really cool guys in there. We help each other out. We make jokes. We post memes. We post pictures of food. We do whatever we want in there. We are pretty close in there. We help one another out. So, but with that being said, guys, enjoy the day, night, morning, and the rest of the day. Stay safe out there.